The coach take the Lincoln Tunnel through Weehawken, through Secaucus, across the Hackensack River, and you'll arrive as we have it. They'll run here with a former Steeler. This is Le'Veon Bell. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. The numbers for Bell on the ground in the game last week. 15 carries, 83 yards.
And when I watch them operate, I see a unit that's playing with extreme confidence. Offensive line, tight ends, wide receivers. You see a group that wants their number 8 rusher in the league end up being in the top 5 before it's over.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now off the bootleg, Darner. And right away, he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And great field position coming up in the red zone at the 17-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. A first red zone opportunity for the Browns thus far. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. Mayfield now after the fumble recovery. Buying time to his left. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first wasn't there. Heck, his second read was.
180! And here we go. Watch the pass. Watch the pass. 50 Cent. Mike, 50 Cent. Man, that's trash. That's trash. Watch out.
Here's the former number 2 pick, the Pro Bowler Saquon Barkley. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. The numbers for him from a week ago: 15 carries, 125 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, they set a nice tone in week 1. He's among the leading rushers in the league. I think that they continue to feed him the football and continue to establish the running game so they can get the play action and throw the ball deep later on.
2nd and goal from the 1. Another try for Barkley, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Well, it'll definitely be a disappointment to come out of this starting position with just 3 points. They need to try to dial something up now, 3rd and 10. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
And that's a crusher right there. Had his man open for a 1st down, threw a fastball when that wasn't necessary. Incomplete pass. When are these quarterbacks going to learn? You don't get extra points for how hard you throw the football.
4th down, and on is Greg Joseph for the Browns field goal. This a fairly straightforward 22-yard short attempt. Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Well, they're going to try this thing. They're at the 5, 4th and goal. They're going to go for it. We'll see. Run, probably pass to both in the arsenal. Mayfield to throw for it on 4th. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Browns have taken the early lead. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
No problem there on the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland.
Right side. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. On the counter, here's Bell. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. Darnold off the play fake to Bell. And he's got a moonwalk. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really nice gain of 25 yards. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 49-yard line. The shotgun snap for Darnold. This one caught by Crowder.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Here's Darnold. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. He couldn't hook up with a Nunwa that time, and it's 3rd down. These 5th-rounders, and to use him as an example, maybe you take a little bit of a flyer on someone, hope you hit goal.
Exactly, because when you get into the 5th round, you're usually not counting on him to become a starter right away, but we've seen so many times 5th, 6th, 7th, undrafted free agents who come in and make their way, and in a big way.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got him the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. A gain of 6 there on first.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Well. Right there. 54 Mike. Double dog. That's the way. Hey, watch it. Check Mike.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
He's got a first down past the 30. Accelerating, and off he goes. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Saquon Barkley, 83 yards. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now first quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they scored in opening weekend are going to hold up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we've got to really be ready on defense because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
You think they can keep piling on the points like this?
I think they can if they're prepared to adjust and adapt because they won't see the same defenses week in and week out.
The extra point up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it's capped off by a touchdown run from Saquon Barkley. They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well. But when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him. And some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
It's caught inside the 25. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. Quincy Enunwa, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jets get the quick strike touchdown. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get him in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What? 88 and out the gate? Now a play fake here on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Here's Mayfield. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Blowing that play up was Henry Anderson.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Mayfield now. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And they call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. And look at Quincy Enunwa and the rest of the offense heading back out. He's done his part, but so far it's been in a losing effort, so they've got to fix something.
But that doesn't mean changing anything, the way they're throwing the ball around and his catches and production. Keep doing that. They're going to have to fix some things likely on defense to try and slow down their opponents.
But so far he's north of 100 yards receiving. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle. I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Let's go, boys. Bring it on.
The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He's in his zone, 2nd quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little. If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. It kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
180. 50 seconds, come on. Damn.
A 1st down throw from Mayfield. Flush to his right. He finds an opening past the 40. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
And now we've got flags down. Looked like one of the Browns might have moved. Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
Still 1st down.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Dancing to his left. And now he'll let this one go deep, back over the middle. And, oh, what a catch that time by Landry. It's a big play there for the Browns. 55 yards.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. Well, earlier this half, you were wondering how they were going to defend him. I think you used the term bottle him up at different levels. They've struggled to do that.
They certainly have, because when you see them approach, in order to bottle him up at different levels, that front line's got to take care of business. Otherwise, he starts to sift through.
His pass caught at the 4. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Odell Beckham with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Browns add on to their lead. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Extra point up and through. And it's now 21-7. First down, it's Darnold. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. He was looking for a Nunwa there, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and this shows on the scoreboard.
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. The perennial Pro Bowler Aaron Donald gets the sack.
Good job, guys.
Darnold and the Jets come up 3rd and long following the sack. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Bell. It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on 4th down. Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for New York. And he puts a little something extra into this one, by far his best of the night. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. We will have 2 weeks in the books once this one wraps up. More football coming your way, though, Thursday night. We start week 3 with a good one in the AFC South. Titans and Jags from Jacksonville. Kickoff for that one, 8:20 Eastern, 5:20 on the West Coast. And since we should have Marcus Mariota involved, 2:20 for our friends in Hawaii. All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
Oh, he's got the full package. He can spin, he can juke, he can make you miss, he can drop his shoulder on you. Some of that elusiveness we saw at Penn State has definitely translated to the NFL game. Saquon Barkley hit the proper buttons and turn him loose.
So the line of scrimmage all the way up to midfield now as they've got it 1st and 10.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping. Hey, 133.
Mayfield now from the 50. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. I think you'd agree that looked like the right call from up here.
No. Doubt about it. And what everyone has to understand is that the officials are going to be right on the play each and every time. You may not like the call, but they're usually spot on.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Mayfield to throw it. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's 2nd down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed. But all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mayfield. And the hook up here with Jalen Strong complete. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
And this is caught at the 8. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
That's going to be a long day.
A give to Barkley out of the gun. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Saquon Barkley, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Browns add 6 to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off. Squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Point after, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And the rookie Saquon Barkley, the one who finishes things off with a touchdown run. And the Jets set to take the field. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on 1st down. And it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. We now proceed. second half begins with a run from Barkley. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
On 2nd and 7, Mayfield. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. He was looking for Landry that time, but now it's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
King! Hey, check Mike 57, Mike 57.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Over the middle to Beckham. And they get him down about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 3rd down pickup of 5.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Jets offense now as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. The give is to Bell. Now Bell hit. He lost the football. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And this is picked up by the Browns. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
There's Baker Mayfield as he and the Browns offense comes back out. He's been a good game manager. They're winning here in the 3rd quarter, but really the ground game is where it's been at for them. Hasn't it?
So whatever the game plan was, you just got to focus on continuing to run the football. And really, that takes the pressure off of the guy throwing it around. Doesn't have to be the focal point. Hand it off, let him chew up the yardage in big plays, and your team's winning. The only people upset, the fantasy guys who may have started him at quarterback in their leagues.
And we'll see if they continue with a recipe of the ground game.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. So following the fumble recovery, here's Darnold. He's got a man, complete. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. And the pass complete to Anunwa. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. And now whistles and a flag. And I think we got a jump here. So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. After the penalty, it's Bell. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Now as we look down, it appears we've got a jet shaken up on the play. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside.
51, Mike, 51. Hey, watch that. Hey, watch the ball.
Back to the ground, this time Montgomery. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
We all know that Myles Garrett was drafted #1 in the NFL for his ability to get to the quarterback. That's his stock in trade. But the underrated part of his game, plays well against the run, knows how to hold the point of attack.
Back-to-back running plays, putting him in negative territory. What can they do coming up on 3rd and 15? And for Darnold, this may be a free play. Letting one go deep for the end zone. And that'll be incomplete. The flag was down, so they took a shot, thinking it's on the defense. Let's see. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
So after the penalty, they're back to where they started, 3rd and 10. Darnold from the gun. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sack.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Big guy. Odell Beckham Jr. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham, 61 yards. And the Browns add on to their lead.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. The point after is good, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. So out now come the Jets. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive. Missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because
blitz coming, and down he he goes. Oh, free safety blitz. That can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. On second down, Montgomery. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. 9 yards on the pickup that time, so he got more than half of it back, but it's still a 3rd and 8. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. It's a 43-yard punt, a return of 5, and the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Here now, time to discuss Odell Beckham Jr. This defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him? Bring him over to our team so we don't have to cover him anymore, because he is really having a heck of a ball game, isn't he?
Boy, he is. I don't know when a mid-game trade's going to happen, but good thought. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Tighten up. Hey, alert, 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 alert. My God.
On 2nd and 15 now. Mayfield forced out to his left. Space to maneuver at the 40. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 16 yards, a 1st down.
Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
Set, 180. Let's go, D. 2 times. 4 down. Check. 4 down. Right down.
Now Saquon Barkley. And an alley to run. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try to throw here. Mayfield. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Henry Anderson. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16.
All day, every day, any day.
That's the end of the third quarter of play. With the score
back now here on EA Sports. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. It's Barkley on the counter. Only 2 yards on the pickup there, and now they're looking at a long 3rd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Hey, alert, 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 alert. 57 to Mike, 57 to Mike. Watch, watch.
3rd and long for Mayfield. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Quentin Williams in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. The Jets offense now works their way back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is...
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. William Hayes, the pride of Winston-Salem State, coming in to drop him.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Darnold and the Jets come up 3rd and long following the sack.
Check 13. Check 13.
3rd and long, it's Darnold hooking up over the middle with Herndon. And a loose football. And they take possession of the football and have it at their 36-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. This ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But, yeah, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is. And I'm glad that you went in that direction because otherwise we're going to have to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense, special teams. They put it all together. And I got to tell you, I am beyond impressed by what I've seen from this team.
Again, it's Barkley. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. He's going to let this go for the end zone. Back of the end zone, could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you could put yourself in jeopardy.
4th down, and on is Greg Joseph for the Browns field goal. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the 4th quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
Darnold going to lead the Jets up now, 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Now it's Darnold. Out left to Anderson. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. He had to absorb another little bump there from the defense, another incomplete pass. We've seen a lot of that tonight.
They've come after him all night long. Nothing but pressure in his face. He's trying to stand up there and make...
Darnold, he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
Odell Beckham now. Marching back onto the field. So far, he has the trio of touchdowns. Obviously, it's been a pretty good game for him.
So if this were hockey, they'd be throwing their hats out on the ice for the hat trick, right? I'm not sure exactly what you do in the NFL, except applaud and continue to hope you see a little bit more of this. What a tremendous game.
You want to start a new tradition? What can we throw on the field?
I don't know.
Throw your mic out there.
A lot of fans would like that. Cut his mic off.
3 touchdowns so far. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Fresh out of the locker room, they hit him with a gain of over 20. What a throw right there for the first down. He has taken some real punishment in this game, but still standing in the pocket, completing that one.
He's a flat-out warrior. There's no question about that. And how about him stepping up into the teeth of the rush and delivering there for that big strike and that big pickup?
This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Here's a give to Barkley. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. His throw caught at about the 5. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 12 more yards there and another first down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
The extra point. A first down throw, Darnold. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, second down. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. They've blanketed the field.
And nothing but daylight ahead. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. And nothing too crazy there. A quick slant, and then he just had a seam. He found a seam.
And when you hit it on the run like that, and I mean the pass right to the receiver who's already in motion and moving, sometimes he just takes it and runs away from everyone else.
And he ran it into the end. So instead of running, Mayfield's going to throw it here. He's going to loft one deep left side here. It's caught inside the 25. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a first down. Now this pass into the hands of Saquon Barkley. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on first and goal. Going to the air again with Mayfield. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
Extra point safely through. And that will extend this big lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it's capped off.
Mike 51, Mike 51.
On first and 10, Darnold. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job. And Darnold, he lost the football. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Cleveland, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the